T minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes. T minus 2 minutes. T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0.
Yeah, look, black and blue lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, black and blue lives. Hey, that's a new vibe. Hey, podcast lit. I think we got a hit. Hey, black and blue lives. Look, we got Prince Blue and Steph talking black and blue lives. Hey, black and blue lives. It's Steph and Blue.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is up? It is the Black and Blue Lives podcast, and we are here. That means it is Wednesday. That means it is 8 p.m. That means that you are here with us. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Hove went through that, so hopefully y'all don't have to go through that. That's rap, Step. You know that?
I like it, man. I was catching on.
But nah, what's up? I am Dr. Prince Blue, co-host, and this is my homie Step. We are both, unless you've been living under a rock, which I don't think you have, we are both retired police officers. And the Black and Blue Lives podcast is where we take you behind the badge. We give you the good, the bad, the sweet, the savory, the salty, the what other flavors is it, Step?
The rainbow, man. Taste the rainbow. All of it.
Well, you can't taste the rainbow in 2025 because that. You gotta be careful about the. You know the rainbow's not ours anymore. The leprechaun don't even. The leprechaun don't even own the rainbow no more. It's not. It don't belong to us no more. We can't claim the rainbow. But anyway, welcome y'all. Welcome. This episode is about police heroes. Police, are they heroes or are they misunderstood villains? And the reason why I thought that we should talk about this is because depending on who you talk to, like you could poll 10 people and each person will have something different to say about police or how they view police, what they think police job is, what they think their goal is. Are they wanted? Are they needed? So I thought maybe, we should help people figure that out, either figure it out for themselves or we push them in one direction or the other. So we're going to start with heroes. At the very foundation, at the very core of police work, these men and women in blue are heroes. Because why? Because at any given day, Step, you know this, when we're lacing up those boots, we're putting on our vests, that may be it.
Yeah.
That may be it.
So that go through your mind sometimes. You're like, hey, this is the last time I'm going to tie my shoe. Because
go ahead.
No, just think how many people that went to the shift the same time we did, not only in Charlotte, but these other places with the same shift we were, didn't come home. What it was like on average, 350 officers died on duty a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking at, almost one a day somehow. So, yeah, it could happen. So it's always in the back of your mind.
Just think about it, Steph. How many times have we left the house and, we may not be on the same page with our significant other, and you're thinking like, yo, our last conversation was us not being on the same page. And you think about that. And then, Steph, think about it. When we go out and about and we see other families and we see other relationships, other DV situations, and you're like, whoa. And then you start thinking, like, what we was arguing about at home, was it really that serious compared to what we see on the outside when we was patrolling?
No, it puts in perspective how I think everybody's got turmoil, and I don't think it really is normal. I don't know who would set that standard, but compared to what, to your point, to what we see on a daily basis of this drama and stuff happening and stuff, you're like, I'm pretty fucking normal. You think there's some drama at home or something, and you see those other stuff. I'm like, I got it pretty good, man.
Pretty damn
so
good.
It really keeps it put in perspective. Just wish, like, the rest of the family could see all that chaos. My sister was always like, oh, hating on our childhood or whatever. Dad was strict or didn't give her enough money, whatever. I'm like, man, we had it pretty good compared to what we see. So
yeah, some dads put it to you. Some dads lock the cupboards when they leave the house. I remember one time I got a call where I came in and they weren't eating because the dad would lock the cupboard and he would take the key with him. And that's some of the stuff that we see and some of the stuff that helps you put things into perspective. So let's get with the hero first, shall we? Because like I was saying before, at the very core, these men and women are heroes, and people say we don't need cops, defund cops, we don't need you, we don't need cops make everything worse, cops makes everything worse. I wonder if this mother right here feels that same way.
What do you mean? Talk about tense. Warren police think they're pulling over a reckless driver Tuesday during rush hour.
Speed limit's 45. Well over 45. I'd had to estimate probably 75, 80 miles an hour.
Inside the Camaro, a frantic mom, her baby boy in her lap.
Let me get me! No, please don't take him!
Blue lips, barely a pulse.
Put him on my forearm and administered a few back blows to him. Had some saliva and I don't know what it was, kind of regurgitate out onto my arm.
Warren police officer Brendan Frazier says mom and her brother inconsolable and disoriented here on 12 Mile near Shaner.
Getting them calmed down is just as important as trying to get aid to the baby.
He's breathing. Look at him. He's breathing, okay? Got it.
Officer Frazier brought the baby back.
So, shout out to Officer Frazier for thinking fast and using his training, and that had to be something. Step, you pull over a car, you think a car is speeding and being reckless, but it turns out it's a mother frantically trying to drive her child to the hospital because her child isn't breathing, and that Officer Frazier acted really quick. Quick story. I remember one time I got a call to a halfway house where a kid had visited his dad, and his dad, I don't know if either his dad was excited that he was finally getting to see his child, but he picked the wrong day to backslide, and he ended up he wasn't breathing because whatever he took, he wasn't breathing. And I had to make a decision. Was I going to give that dude mouth to mouth, or was I going to wait for a medic to get there because I didn't have the mask. I didn't have the mask with me because I wasn't thinking at the time the mask was in my bag. And he was sitting there, not breathing, turning blue, and the kid was looking at me like, my dad. And I was like, I just looked up. I was just like, you know what? All days aren't going to be the best days, the best situations. So, I can't let this dad die in front of his kids. So, I start giving him CPR, start giving him chest compressions. And then, after about 5 minutes, fire came and fire was taking over. Because those who don't know, Step, this, CPR is exhausting. Chest compressions is exhausting. You're like breaking ribs. You're pretty much trying to make their heart touch the back of their rib cage. So luckily fire came and they did their thing and the dad was able to wake up. But those are some of the situations that sometimes us as police officers we find ourselves in, and we have to make split-second decisions while all the chaos is around us. And shout out to Officer Frazier for being a hero. I bet you, I'm hoping that mother, whenever she hears police being disrespected or something like that, I hope she remembers Officer Frazier and what he did for her in that moment of need.
Yeah, and stuff like that happens every day. not all the times with a newborn baby, but if it's administering Narcan to someone who overdosed, or chest compressions, or applying a tourniquet on someone who's been shot, who's bleeding out. And I, we both experienced a lot of trauma based injuries and dying people, and it makes you feel good at the end of the shift when your actions and the actions of your fellow officers like save somebody's life. Not from the hands of some domestic abuser. I mean, that's every day, but someone's dying, been shot, and apply a tourniquet, or Narcan to somebody that's overdosed on drugs, and knowing that if it wasn't for you, if you chose to maybe call in that day, or call out sick, or decide to be lazy and not be out in the field, that person would probably have died. It's because of you. And it goes both ways. Like we've Narcan people before, then they try to like fight us anyway. Like they don't care. They just want their drugs, and not because they're coming out of the Narcan, or the coming back alive. They're like dead, like zombies. I don't know if you ever seen it. People don't realize, man. I walked up to people before. I'm like, oh, that mother freaker's DRT, which stands for dead right there. And you hit him with Narcan, and the dude's like right awake, and they jump up and walk, and they're all like, holy, you almost want to double tap them in the head, just to be like, that's not supposed to go from dead to jumping up. But yeah, man, people don't realize, because that stuff doesn't make the news. Of course, the baby does, because it's on camera and it happened. But a lot of the stuff daily, I guarantee, just in the city of Charlotte, maybe once a day in the city, an officer does something directly to save someone's life.
Absolutely. With between car accidents, ODs, gunshot wounds, like, and let's not sleep on sometimes where officers have saved other officers' lives, because remember, for a while you had to constantly remind officers, remember, as a supervisor, hey, don't touch stuff without gloves. Remember, officers was touching kits and touching pipes and touching powder residue and passing the hell out, and we ended up using Narcan on our own officers. So the level of the amount of things that a police officer has to compute within a nanosecond, people do not understand, and they do not fathom. It's easier to Monday morning quarterback when you're in the safety of your own home. You're watching on your phone. You can rewind and slow down or speed up the footage, or you're not there, so you can speak on it. But imagine when you're in that position. I tell this story all the time. When the taser stuff came out, and they invited the media to the the academy to go through the trainings, they all failed. They failed the taser training. They didn't know what to do. They was tasering people that wasn't supposed to be tasered. They was keeping their fingers on the trigger. They wasn't following the use of force continuum. So again, police officers, and I'm not even going to preface it by saying, some are bad. I don't care about those people. I don't care about those people. What I care about is people like Officer Frazier, officers like Officer Frazier, who are out here doing what he was destined to do. Just think about it. I don't care what you believe in, whatever being you believe in, brought Officer Frazier in this world for that very moment to save that child. And you just can't, you cannot put that in any better terms than he did what he was meant to do. And that's a lot of police officers out there.
And thank God for him that he thinking he's going after a speeding car, but thank God that he wasn't like a lot of the officers are. Oh, that car speed, I'm not a mess with it. I'm not. And then, I mean, she's probably panicking, trying to drive to the hospital or somewhere, but as well as me, especially the baby, you can't go long without emergency breaths, or without having severe brain damage.
No oxygen to the brain. It's crazy.
The fact that he saw the speeding car, decided to act, and then went from enforcement mode to life-saving mode just like that.
And she stopped. Think about it. How many people we try to stop, and they're like, no, I'm keep going.
Oh, yeah. All the time. Yeah.
So, You know, but shout out to Officer Frazier and shout out to that mother. I hope baby is doing well and everything is good. So I thought we play that. So now it's time to where police are the villains. Some police out here, they shouldn't have badges. They shouldn't be out here fighting a good fight with people who really want to do this. And when you get this, you get the Memphis Five. Remember the story about the Memphis police officers that beat the hell out of a guy to death and in Memphis, and they were part of the quote unquote Scorpion Squad, and they were a bunch of cowboys out here just doing the most. And here's a video of that fateful night. You can.
It was that one dude doing. He just like wonders. They're still, only guy doing whatever, and he just like wanders off. Like I mean,
just letting him do it. You could literally see the life draining from his body.
Yeah, it looked like the one dude's holding his arms behind his back, and the other one's just
he was holding his arms behind his back, and they was having a field day with the guy's face. And this is what you don't want. This is what you don't want. You don't want animals with badges on out here power tripping and taking lives.
So
correct, AJ.
It honestly looks like. I mean, I would expect more from, not to put Walmart security down or something, but like a group of Walmart security, I think would do a better job trying to get that person in custody than that. I don't have a problem with 4 people being on one dude, because sometimes you have to use overwhelming
polyester
force.
pile up.
Yeah, but get them to the ground. You could, if somebody's got a hold of somebody else, grabs his leg, get him on the ground and wrestle with him. And there, through the video, there was no indication that this guy was doing anything to physically try to harm the officers.
They was holding him up, to get in more hits.
Yeah, like he looked like he was like, they were holding him like this, and like he was like trying to go to the ground, and they
was holding him up.
And just
they were holding him up.
Imagine like if you're like this and you're in your face, and
let me ask you this, Step. What was worse? The police officers that was beating Kyrie Nichols to death, or the officer that could have did something, he just walked off?
I don't know, but it's hard. That officer, if he's seen something that he needs to take it, we have a duty to intervene as far as ethically and legally. Hey, we got him, put him on the ground, give him some direction. Hey, we got him, he's good, get him on the ground, put him in cuffs. And then sometimes, like we talked about the video we saw last week, somebody might have to come and pull the officer off if it's getting to that point where it's just it's a straight out assault. But the fact that you want to turn a blind eye, and I don't know why, like maybe he's just show other people, he's like, I'm trying to. They see the blue lights, they know where you're at, so. Maybe it's just lack of training that he's in midbrain, like what do I do? Where do I go? Or did they charge? Is that the guy they charged? And then, or was that the guy with the taser? I don't know, because there were those 4, and there's a white officer who got charged.
Yeah. I think that was the officer that walked off that got charged.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things to where, and guess what? Have you heard anything about this? Nope.
No.
Not a thing.
Not after it initially happened. And when it first came out, I'm like, here we go. They're trying to, scapegoat some officers, and I look at the video. I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, what did I just see? What that video then shows, like the full BWC and stuff, is how they're talking. They
were celebrating.
But they sound like they're straight hood, like the way, you're throwing out MFers and just all this. I mean, I'm all about when we have to use force and stuff on people, but like we've done before, if you're outside that realm, then we're gonna call you out, because that's not good. When people see that video, it's that. And then they run into us, and they're going to associate us with those people.
Exactly. So let's talk about the 5 assholes. Desmond Mills Jr., Emmett Martin, Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justice Smith were found not guilty on state charges, including second-degree murder, though the 3 men still face the possibility of years in prison after being convicted on federal charges last year. So they got off of the second-degree murder, but they're facing other charges.
Yeah, as they should. I mean, because the problem is, if especially you have that incident on video, as bad as there's no justification for that, and if you don't do something, you lose the trust of the community. Like, you can't. I mean, people already hate us. But you can't have some that gracious and you don't.
But this is the thing again, Step. This was a jury. So what was the jury looking at? What did they see? Like do they understand how second-degree murder works? Do they understand? What part of the elements weren't they understanding? Like, did they see a different type of footage? Like, I'm confused.
No, and you're not going to get anybody with any kind of law enforcement credibility pissed and watch that video, and not just that clip, but the totality of the video, and try to justify it.
There's no way.
Yeah, basically, I think they're stopping them for careless and reckless. They were just. There was no, it looked like they lacked training and experience. It's like they didn't have one. They
looked like they were operating with a set of punity to. They look like they've been doing that shit for a long time. Let's call it real. They're in Memphis. They're in low income, high crime areas, where if you're beating the hell out of people like a quote unquote a Tyree Nichols, nobody's going to care, because they're going to look at, it's a black male, it's high crime area, we're sick of it, we don't care, so do what you got to do. But when you see somebody getting the life beat out of them that don't deserve it, that has to change something in your mind. But I feel like it didn't at that instance, because they were all getting their licks in. Then the one officer who could have said, hey, that's enough, he walks off.
I know, man. So he can't, because he wouldn't be a good witness for the defense or the officers, because if this guy was resisting arrest to the point where why would you not help him? Why didn't you grab a leg? Why didn't you try to, so if he was honestly, then that's neglect of duty. If this guy is fighting and resisting, and you just walk off and leave the officers to fight themselves, so he can't use that. He I think, honestly, I'm speculating, is like he's like, oh shit, what the hell's going? What are these guys doing? I don't see anything. I don't want to be involved, and what kind of wandered off. But unfortunately, this is in 1972. You can't do that.
Yeah. But those 5, they deserve whatever charges they get to stick. I hope they get the maximum on each charge, because they should not be on the streets. Tyree Nichols is not here, but they're here because they couldn't handle themselves, and the city of Memphis has to answer for that.
Oh,
The chief has to answer for that. The mayor has to answer for that. They all have to answer for that.
It was bad for the good. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and I know at times like this, it's kind of in vogue to speak money and stuff like that, but those zeros better be plentiful. They better be plentiful to the family of Tyree Nichols.
That was bad for that. They've had a couple officers shot and killed since then in Memphis, and the problem is people are like, oh, good, they got one, because of that. Yeah, because of that. So you could have the most dedicated, ethical, doing the right thing, loves his job out there and get shot and killed, and then yet most people in the community are sickened from seeing that, and then they don't care. They're like, oh, well, good. They're all dirty cops. You know what I'm saying? So it really taints the whole tank of officers. It's not fair to the whole hard work on, because I'm sure Memphis has some great officers. It's a pretty big department, high crime, but that's why it's also important to make sure that when we're doing recruitings and backgrounds and we're getting the right people into these positions, that are going to take greater care than the people who just willing to throw their career away or do stuff like that. So.
And also, that's going to be the perfect segue, because let's also talk into it, like you said, Step. When stuff like that happens, when officers get clipped, people cheer. Also, when there's video or anything that comes out that goes viral, people immediately take the side of the quote unquote suspect or the person that's going viral, whatever it is. We're gonna come. That's gonna bring us to Mr. Terry McNeil, who, remember, he showed the little clip of when the officers bust out his window and pulled him out of the car, and what people automatically said, oh, they're racist. Oh my God, the cops are they're harassing a black man, they're busting up a black man, blah blah blah. And then we got a chance to see the whole video in its entirety, and this is what we got.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all, and then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
And this is the part that went viral, and the only thing that people showed, and immediately they said that the police were in the wrong.
Exit the vehicle now.
This is the part.
Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right.
Get on the ground. No, don't.
Get on the ground.
Stop fighting.
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
I was putting my hands behind my back.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
Fucking tooth shit, bro. I was doing it, bro. What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No, bro.
Yes, bro.
You
yes.
have a lawful reason, bro.
Big knife center in here too.
You gonna throw me blow like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you, bro.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
That's not how it works.
Too late. It ain't gonna too late.
When they asked you to step out of the vehicle, you should have done that shit.
Sir, your partner didn't even ask.
Marijuana in his right pocket.
Yes, it is.
So why close the door if you see him pull up?
Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong, sir. Can you back me up to the car so I can clean up?
Shut up.
Yeah, plus it didn't show, the initial we showed last time where the guy comes up and he closes the door and rolls the window up like he's telling him to get out. So it's
and what's the funny thing about it is, because of when the whole video came out, then people moved the goalpost. They said the officer called him an idiot. The officer was antagonizing him. I was like, they literally just got a use of force. It's basic physiology. When you're amped up, when you're seeing red, it is what it is. Use of force is not ballet. It's not John Wick. And they were sitting there, like AJ said, we're not litigating with you on a traffic stop.
No.
We don't have to pull. Imagine if I would have went back to my car and got the NC State traffic law book and then read him the law. Like, we're not doing this. Like, if you want that chance, let's go to court and let's talk about it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's just I haven't seen any of these videos where people. I don't have to get out, name, badge number, call your supervisor. You don't get to put, like we talked about before. You don't get to say, I want your supervisor. I don't agree with your reason why you stopped me, so I'm not complying. That's not how it works. If the officer is doing something wrong or illegally detaining you or something, there's recourse after the fact. But these people need to realize the more they cooperate, if their rights are being violated and they're cooperating, the better it's going to be for them. Because if they have a legitimate lawsuit or complaint, then it's to make them look a lot better than someone who is refusing to cooperate, or the driver was pretty calm in this one, but we've seen all the other ones where they're just yelling, cursing, and calling people names, and then the officer does something, maybe it was illegal or unethical, but yet there's the jury or they don't have sympathy for the person because they were so irate.
Right.
So,
Steph, how many times have you, I'm gonna use myself, how many times have you gotten a complaint about me saying something, and what did you do? You go to the BWC and you're like, well, ma'am, sir, I see what you were saying and cursing and doing. I didn't see what my officer was doing.
Absolutely.
So show me where Officer Blue was being abusive, being belligerent, and being disrespectful. And you show them the video. And they still act like that's not them in the video. Like, you don't understand. No, it was before the camera turned on, and we're like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, and and the problem, like you said, even though that wouldn't have been much of a high adrenaline arrest, the guy still resists. I don't know how. I don't have hold of him or see how he's resisting or what he's trying to do. But you breach a window. But a lot of these, like for instance, we had an 80 Dutch rolling shootout. I got behind one of the cars. I chased it like 10 miles, over 100 miles per hour, chasing it. They try to go in the neighborhood, jump and run. We're right on top of them, literally. And as I'm handcuffing the driver, I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Because he almost killed like 27 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got written up because they said I wasn't de-escalating, that they were complying. I'm like, this is a shit. They jumped. They were all out of the car trying to run, and we're just right on top of them, and we're throwing them out. And they're gangbangers. We dealt with them before. One of them, that actually the driver I said that to a few months after that, killed somebody. He shot and killed him in the head about 3 blocks from there. And he's a gangbanger and stuff. But yet I get written up because your adrenaline's going. A chase is pretty, your adrenaline's going, man. You're going 100 miles per hour and cut through car. They're armed. You recognize the car. They're gangbangers. And then they jump out and try to run. And your adrenaline's going. And I'm like, could you give me like 10 seconds while I'm out of the car? Like, I don't think it's in my honest opinion, knowing the policy, that I didn't violate policy. But the problem is these people get in command that hadn't been in use force ever or 20 years.
They're worried about perception.
That's the way it looks. They don't have the reality of it. Hey, you're amped up. I've been in shootings, and I was about to have to shoot a guy one time after we'll have to watch the video next week. I'll send it to you. It's really he's dead now too, but he was on a motorcycle, and I got him at gunpoint, and he starts reaching. I'm like, get your hands up, and he's trying to restart the motorcycle with one hand, and then he pulls out a gun like this. So his gun's like this. I'm taking it up on the trigger, getting ready to blast him, like just 5-6 rounds. And as soon as he's like this, he throws the gun and it drops right beside the gun. And he keeps digging and then tries to start the car. And I run over and I tackle him off the bike. Well, he's trying to push right. The gun's like right by his head. He's trying to do a push up to get me off of him. And I take the gun and I stick it in my bag. I was like, I'll have to shoot you on the ground. And they wanted to write me up for that because I said, like, get on the fucking ground or something. I was getting ready to shoot him. Thank God I appealed it. And then we had a squared away lieutenant who's over this thing. He's like, wait, Step should be getting a war beat. He could have shot that guy. So he said, let me get this straight. And in my shooting, I forgot how long, a 7-8 minute shootout with 82 rounds fired in 2016, there were a lot of get on the fucking ground. Show me your fucking hands. I mean, and so let me get this straight. It's okay if you're in the shooting, you say that, they understand. But if you don't shoot somebody, but your adrenaline's still going because they're pulling out guns, then it doesn't make any sense. My argument was we're allowed to take and do custodial interviews, take people in a controlled environment and use cuss words in an interrogation. But you're telling me in the heat of the moment, this isn't like 5 minutes after the stop, in the heat of the moment, after a life or death situation to chase people with guns, that as I'm handcuffing them, that asking somebody legit, what the fuck's wrong? Like that officer asked,
white shirts, man.
Dude. They just kick you in the balls, and that's stuff like that. They keep pushing, like doing stuff like that, and then it takes away the drive. Even the good officers who want to out here and do stuff, they don't.
I'm not surprised that a lot of officers just took their badge off their shirt and they said, "Here, like I don't need this shit. Like I'm not about to get killed and then get lectured by somebody who probably did what, a year and a half on the road and then made their way up to the top somehow." And some of the people that was higher up in white shirts, some of the shit that they alleged have done, they shouldn't even still been at the damn department. But now they
like skull crushers and like all this stuff. But yeah, they're like, oh, you used a bad language in a high stress situation. And my thing is that's just part of your body's stressor, you know, but they're all, it's not, and it can't be about perception. They make it all about perception, but you have to be reasonable. And because people come at those guys and like they're it's whatever.
You know how it always is. So now we're going to get into the unserious, where they say officers need more training. Is it me, Step, or is it the videos where police officers are really, really goofy? They're international officers.
Oh yeah,
they're like UK, Finland,
you
Poland.
You think about right away. You see the tactics or something. Like, there's no way those are American cops.
So I found one, and Step, this is going to drive you crazy because you're a range guy. You're all about gun safety. You're all about train like you fight. Fight like you train. Look at this dumbass shit right here.
Corta. Arma corta. 1, 2. Ahora sí. Chinga tu madre.
Holy shit. Oh, God.
Let me play it again.
Is that the Venezuelan army that says they're going to destroy the United States?
Yeah. They're going to destroy themselves first. Let me play it again.
Corta. Arma.
First of all, his finger is already on the trigger. Wrong. Your finger should not be on the trigger until you're ready to squeeze.
Corta. Arma corta.
1, 2.
Ahora sí.
Then he shot himself in the fucking leg. Like,
wow.
And then he turns around and smiles while he has a fully loaded weapon in his hand. I don't know about you, Step. I know about me. But when we're on the range and we have our weapon out, our eyes are on the target. We're not looking this way.
You're not looking at your gun. You're not looking at your holster.
We're looking at the target.
And then you're wherever you scan. You're not.
Muscle safety was off.
Unless you're brand new rookie, the guy where you have to look down to see where the holster is. But I mean, it needs to be muscle memory. Show me your hands. It's up like that. It's not like looking down to reholster or looking.
And then he shoots himself. He shoots himself through the holster.
So what? I thought Corta is like court. I don't know. He's like, there must be another.
I gotta play it again.
Somebody tell me what that dude was saying. Corta, like,
he was saying, help me. I lied on my application.
Corta. Arma corta.
That part right there. Like, what are you smiling at?
What's on his head? Is his ear protection not even on his ears?
I don't know what this is, but if these are the gorillas that's supposed to come to the U.S. and take us out, please send him. Send him, please. Please send him.
Arma corta. Uno, dos. Ahora sí. Chinga tu madre.
That's why it's hard to like have confidence when like you meet these people, and I met a lot of officers from different countries. I'm not talking about like even Germany and the UK. Some of everything's different, but like in Mexico, they're like, yeah, I was a cop in Mexico, and I'm, oh, cool, good for you. But then part of it is like, no, I've seen enough videos of the third world countries. Not that Mexico's a third world country, but where
it probably is. It should be.
Just where there's no training and show you the difference. Yeah, that's why when Madero or whatever from Venezuela was saying that, if the U.S. did anything, this would be the end of the U.S. And they're showing people signing up who are, and I'm not like 80 years old. They're getting volunteers like signing up to be a militiaman or whatever. And he's like, yeah, this would be the end. Yeah, I'm serious. This is the end. They're like, this is the end of the American Empire. I'm like, oh, not with that crew. I don't care how many of you have.
Maybe they meant the Americas with an S. because listen, if you send Guadalupe Barney over here, he won't last.
That's why they can't lateral transfer from. So, could you imagine? Like
he literally shot. He shot his leg through the holster.
That's extra points because if you shoot, you shoot through the holster, and then ringer, bullseye.
Oh my God! So now we go from the unserious to pop culture. Pop culture has had an impact on how people view police officers. Pop culture had an impact on how I view policing.
Oh yeah.
The two movies that made me want to be a police officer the most was Beverly Hills Cop and Lethal Weapon. And the reason why I was Beverly Hills Cop because I always thought like Axel Foley was funny, he was smart, but he was real, he knew his shit, he was a good detective, and Axel Foley was always getting his shit, but he always got it done. And I used to love the back and forth between him and his Inspector Todd. And then Lethal Weapon because I was like, these guys just do whatever the fuck. Do they ever do paperwork? Like they literally just be doing like 32 bodies and no paperwork.
And then they're like, 2 hours later, they're like doing an interrogation of somebody else they just locked up right after that.
Right. There's no paperwork. There's no nothing. Riggs and Murtaugh just doing whatever. But this was the scene that really had me hooked, and it had everybody hooked. And when you see this scene, you're going to understand why this scene was so iconic.
Diplomatic community.
It's just been revoked.
That's classic.
And for those who don't know, in Lethal Weapon 2, okay, spoiler alert, if you, for some reason, AJ hasn't seen Lethal Weapon 2, I bet you. They were South African diplomats, and people don't know when you're a diplomat, you have immunity. You can't even get a parking ticket. Like, it's nothing you could do to a diplomat. You've done dignitary duty. Like, they're literally like, they're immune. So, it took a lot for old Murtaugh to fire that old revolver into his head and tell him it's just been revoked. Now, as a police officer, if you shoot a diplomat, come on now. Why was there a Lethal Weapon 3? He should have been not a police officer anymore. Am I right?
Yeah. Could you imagine with all security cameras now how that would work out? But it was a great scene because they built him up as kind of being on the straight and narrow, and then he's fed up and.
We don't have jurisdiction to go into the boathouse, Riggs. We can't go into the boathouse. Well, yeah. I'm gonna bring the boathouse to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, both those characters are just.
It's classic. Awesome. And they set up the genre, the whole buddy cop genre, where you got the straight, I'm getting too over this shit. Then you got the young, loose cannon who always wants to get into stuff. Great. But pop culture really did have an impact on police officers because, number one, they think all police officers eat donuts. They think police officers test cocaine with their pinky. Oh yeah, that's grade A meth. Yeah, that's fat right there. Oh
yeah. That's 60% pure.
Yeah, 60% pure. Or this coke, or they'll cut it with the knife and they'll sniff a little bit of it. No, that's not how it works. We now have these little test kits where we put a little bit in there and we wiggle it around, and then we're like, oh, perfect. Yes, it turned blue. Fentanyl. It turned blue. Cocaine, heroin, brown girl, white girl, red girl, all the type of girls. We don't do this. We don't cut it with our Swiss Army knife and sniff it up our nose. We don't do any of that. We don't all eat donuts. None of that. None of that stuff that y'all be thinking because y'all see on TV that we do. And all of our supervisors aren't loud and confrontational either. Like, you know, in the movies, they're always that large. Get in here. Yes. God damn it, you do it. God damn it, you do it again, you're fired.
Get
they
out
never
of here.
fire.
No.
Never fire.
It's totally.
Step, you know what is this step? Okay, here. These are the charges. Sign here, sign here, sign here. Yeah, IA hearing is in 6 months.
Yeah.
It's within those 6 months, we want you to keep working. Never mind that your job may end in 6 months. And another thing, Step, I never understood. And I'm glad they changed that rule. Remember when they used to let you go to your IA hearing in uniform? With your weapon?
Mm-hmm. Until well, I think they changed it after there's in New York. It was like Suffolk County. They had an officer that went to IA uniform in uniform and then like pulled out a gun and started shooting. So then
I just lost my job. So you want me to turn in my gun now? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I never understood that why they wanted you in your uniform when you went to an IA hearing. You should have always been in the suit. That was wild to me. Yeah, like, you got a lot of faith in the officer that he's about to lose his job, lose his livelihood, lose his wife, lose his mistress, lose his off duty, and take it like, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong. That's my bad. Here's my gun. Here's my badge.
Yeah, no.
It's just been revoked. Listen.
He should have told him that before he shot him.
First of all, what was the most impactful part in that scene? He shot him with a 38. Was that 38?
357, maybe.
357 from what? What was the distance there?
I don't know.
Dead center of the brain.
Just with a revolver, no less.
Old school.
Those things are hard. I don't know. I'm not very accurate with them, but
yeah, don't think douche. Like that Dirty Harry shit. Nah, I'm glad.
And what's funny is in the next scene is like they're having dinner they're at home that night with their family having like dinner and drinking beer or something like 2 hours later.
Blew away a diplomat and we're having dinner.
The officers show up. You're like, all right, I'm 42. Y'all clean this shit up. I'll be at the house having dinner and drinking a beer.
Like, it's just wow. But that's it, Step. That's all we got, man. We on it. We've been on it the past 2 weeks. So thank you everybody for listening to our show. And we appreciate y'all. Restream, get your shit together. I don't know why you're not counting the X, but shout out to X, shout out to Facebook, shout out to YouTube's, shout out to everybody that's watching us. We appreciate you. There is all the socials right there, Black and Blue Lives across all social media platforms. I am Real Prince Blue on all social media platforms. He is Step 2223 on Instagram, but he's TOG 4280 on TikTok. Check out all his videos. Check out my videos. Check out everybody's videos. A couple house cleaning things. There will be no real time tomorrow, and I think y'all know why. Because it's the beginning of the NFL season. The Eagles is playing the Dallas Cowboys, and I will not be stuck talking to y'all because I'll be talking like this the whole time. Yeah, because
they might beat the Cowboys.
ABC ain't no might. We gonna beat the Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
we gonna beat the Cowboys. Listen, if we don't beat the Cowboys, I would do the next I will do the next real time butt ass naked if we don't beat the Cowboys.
Okay.
That's how. That's how.
That. We're
listen,
still live, so
I've been working out, but that's how much faith I have in my Philadelphia Eagles. Now, knowing my Philadelphia Eagles, they gonna fuck around and lay an egg, and I'm gonna be around here butt ass naked, and that's gonna be the last real time with Prince Blue. But anyway, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and follow across all social media platforms. He is Step. I am Blue. Remember, take care of your chickens and your mentals in the immortal words of the great poet Marshawn Lynch. And we are out of here. See y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah. Look, black and blue lines. Yeah. That's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, black and blue lines. Hey, that's a new vibe. Hey, podcast lit. I think we got a hit. Hey, black and blue lines. Look, we got Prince Blue and Steph talking black and blue lives. Hey, black and blue lives. Hey, Steph and Blue.